you a dental hygiene student who's struggling with stage and grade? I'm a dental hygiene student. Let's talk about it. This is part 2. I'm gonna see how many I can fit in here. All right, let's get to it. This next patient is going to be stage 2, grade B. Clinical findings, they are 50 years old. Their interdental cal is 3 to 4 millimeters. They do not have tooth loss to periodontitis. Their probe depths are 5 millimeters or less. Radiographic bone loss extends to the coronal third of the root. It's mostly horizontal bone loss. Evidence of less than 2 millimeters additional attachment loss over a 5-year period. And they are a non-smoker and no history of diabetes. They're 50, so relatively not bad. Okay, their interdental cal, like I said, is 3 to 4 millimeters, so that brings them to stage 2. Okay, so you see that the radiographic bone loss extends to the coronal third of the root, okay? So if you see in the little tooth model that I have that has cervical, middle, and apical, you'll see that it is right past that cervical line, going to the middle third, but almost. And it's horizontal if you see by the purple line. So the red line indicates that the cervical bone loss right there. And then the purple line is the vertical or horizontal. It shows it's kind of straight across. Pretty generalized. There's no tooth loss, they don't have any missing teeth, and the max probe depth is like 5 millimeters or less. And then like it says, mostly horizontal bone loss, so they're in stage 2. They pretty much have hit almost every mark on here. For grading, okay, they're grade B. Why is that? It says there is less than 2 millimeters of the attachment loss over 5 years, okay? They're a non-smoker and they have no history of diabetes. It's less than. But because of their age and their pocket depths and the bone loss percentage, so their pocket depths are 5 millimeters. We're just gonna say that, 5 millimeters, because it says it is probing depths of 5 millimeters or less, so we're gonna go with 5, being the deepest. And then you divide that by 13, which is the length of a root that we're just gonna estimate that the root's 13 millimeters. Okay, that equals 38%. You're gonna divide that by their age. They're 50 years old, right? When you divide that, you get 0.79. Okay, that brings them to that range of the 0.25 to the 1.0. And that is why they are a stage 2, grade B. Okay, on to the next one. This one is a stage 4, grade C. Okay, they're 44 years old. Not too old, okay? They have interdental cal attachment of 5 millimeters or more. That's in the stage, right? If you look up, there's more, 5 millimeter of cal. They have 4 teeth that have been lost due to periodontitis. On the stage 5, it's 5 or more teeth. Doesn't have to be every one, right? Depths are 6 millimeters or more down there. The past one was 6 millimeters or more, so we're gonna keep going down in probe depths. There's a radiographic bone loss that extends to the mid-third of the root. You can see clearly in the picture that that is showing the mid-third of the root and extending forward. You can see furcations, you can see the drifting and the flaring. Like there's gotta be tooth mobility for sure. Okay, vertical bone loss. Evidence of 2 millimeters or more additional attachment loss over a 5-year period. That is what it says in grade C, more. The patient smokes a pack of cigarettes a day, more than 10 cigarettes a day. I think in a pack there's 10. Bite collapses with drifting of teeth, multiple teeth with a degree of mobility. Like it says in the stage, you have that bite collapsing, mobility, stuff like that. What I find really interesting is it says down with figure 7.17, it says grade C progression, an example of rapid disease progression despite good daily self-care by patient. This next case study is going to be a 5-year-old. Is that not crazy? So this 5-year-old has a stage 3, grade C periodontitis. With them, we can't mark every single thing off, but some can. So like it says, due to the absence of longitudinal radiographic data on this 5-year-old patient, direct evidence of disease progression is assigned a grade was not available. Instead, the following indirect evidence was a progression used to assign the grades periodontitis. Amount of periodontal destruction exceeded given biofilm deposits, early onset of disease, rapid progression that is not characteristic of this patient's age. When I look at the x-rays, I feel like I see vertical bone loss. Now, I know it says more than 3 millimeters of vertical bone loss, but I don't know. It just looks very sporadic. And their little roots are just so tiny, so it's like, it's by that cervical third, but still, it's just so sad. Like some of them are like localized and like it's down to the mid-third of the root extending past. They don't have any lost teeth due to it, and their interdental cavity is only 3 to 4, but their teeth are so tiny compared, you know, to adults. So it's a little different when it comes to kids. And especially with the grade 2, it says, you know, more than 2 millimeters over the 5 years, and they're only 5 years old and they have all this damage. 2 years old is when we should have all of our baby teeth in, and then 6 is when we should be getting the mixed dentition. And this baby's already having issues. Okay, this next one is a stage 3 grade C. They are 20 years old. Their interdental cal is 3 to 4 millimeters. No tooth loss due to periodontitis. Probe depths of 4 millimeters or less. Radiographic bone loss extends to the coronal third of the first molar, so it's localized. Evidence of 2 millimeters or more attachment over a 5-year period. Goes to grade, rapid rate of progression. The tissue destruction exceeds expectations based on the amount of biofilm present. That's a C on the rapid rate of grade. They have some furcations going on. I don't know if you can see in those x-rays, I circled them. But yeah, they have vertical bone loss going on. I don't know if you can see it on the x-rays. It's not super horizontal. It's like maybe localized, but it's just not good. When I look at their chart, the stage 3 is it has to be more than, you know, the 5 millimeters of interdental cal, but they have 3 to 4. But what they do have is furcation involvement, so that brings them down to the stage 3. And then same thing with the grade, we're gonna go with 4 millimeter pocket depths, okay? We're gonna go with a regular 13 millimeter length of root. Divide that 31%, divide that by 20, that's 1.5. That is more than 1.0, so that brings them to a C. So that was our little case studies. We're gonna do one more video after this just because I feel like I'm running out of time on this one. So I will see you in the next one. I hope this helps, and let me know if you have questions. All right, have fun studying. Bye.